A young musician driving to a hip-hop convention got lost, driving his vintage bug with no cell phone reception. It seemed odd that the map wasn't exact to the crooked road, so he parked up and had a fast smoke. Bewildered, he pulled out a compass from the dashboard. The needle spun through 16, shattered like a backboard. Rain began to lightly drizzle. The wind sounded like a fiddle, a melody of despair. Up in the air, adjusting his chair and taking a deep breath, continued across the treacherous road just to see what's next. Black crows perched on a sign saying warning, danger ahead. He felt like he was losing his mind, but pursued on with protection. A small firearm humming an old Papyrus song to keep his nerves calm. He finally drove up to a rickety bridge, smelled like damn hickory stick situation. Though lickety split, using caution and common sense, he crossed it, wiping the sweat from his brow. The toll could have cost him his life. That would have been the end of rocking the mic. But right then he saw dazzling, colorful lights in the distance, beyond the dancing trees that wove back and forth, that spoke softly, saying go home. So we put the pedal to the metal and floored the eerie trail open. With each gear he was golden, seeking help from colorful lights, thinking he reached the destination, but it turned out to be a carnival night. Brightness and darkness, living the light. A struggle of atmosphere, chills down the spines, but ill fright, realizing his lonely visitation. So he slapped the full clip into his protection for a bizarre situation and slid into his leather belt. Kinda felt like he was in for a hell of a time that needs to be dealt. His shoes stomping puddles as he walked through the gravel parking lot seemed empty, except for some shadows. The young artist made his way to the entrance, where a tall man with a dusty top hat met his acquaintance with facial hair resembling Satan's. He tapped the wooden cane onto the floor and said his name was Dr. Raven. Then he asked, what's yours? With the booming top of voice applied here. Any hip-hop rapper of choice. Stare downs became awkward. The doctor spoke in proverbs, insisting that admission would be better than any raw words. At a convention, judge was stressed by suspension. He needed to relax, so he purchased the ticket without mention. Step right in and step right through. Carnival nightmare is now open, I got you. But when he stepped inside, there was no one around. Looked abandoned, sorta like a playful ghost town. Fuck it, he said, lighting a cigarette with the Zippo that red. Lit fast with the cross around his neck, so he helped himself to some popcorn without a vendor. Cotton candy and corn dogs for free is always better. His eyes caught the 30s freak show posters. Strong man, bearded lady, and the boy with no arms or shoulders. So he popped in for the abnormal spectacle. Right then, an octopus girl dragged him in by a tentacle across the row with chairs and onto the stage. Looked 12 years old, determined by face, then thrown inside the lion's cage, forced to perform songs before a crowd of weirdos that recognized his name. He thought, okay, a few acapellas, then they'll let me leave. But that never happened, nothing to eat or drink, working up a sweat exhausted, repeating verses for a merciless fan base, more confused than agnostics. The strangers see the group weary, they shut everything down until tomorrow's repeat of his lyrical sounds, with no intentions of a rapper wanted to leave, trapped behind lock and key. It was losing his speech. He put his back against the bars as he pushed with his feet, trying to get free, but human strength could not compete. Putting his tired head down, he had lost all hope, drifting through dreams of spooks, ghouls and ghosts, knowing he should have held them all at gunpoint, but the heavy mallet would have swung down by the strong man's joints. So he pulled the gat out, covered his face and let the burner shout, knocked the iron doors with those sneakers for a get around. Then the power turned on, he had woken the harm from the chambers, a muffling anger from afar. So we hopped out and almost blacked out with a dry mouth, running outside to a fountain with a broken spout. So we left it alone, beat his feet to the bone, towards the exit blocked by a fence. Voltage is on with all escape routes closed, clutching his chrome. 14 shots left in the clip for collecting souls. Turning back, he let off 10 into the crowd of freaks. 5 fell, others wounded. The charging stampede, stumbling into a fun house where he felt getting larger, just an illusion of a room becoming smaller. A miniature door waited at the end, so we crawled back, bent through the door, squeezing into the sand. But something curled around his ankle, it was Octopus Girl. So we pistol whipped her face until she let go. finding himself, facing himself, a room full of mirrors. Entered the dragon, made it much clearer, hearing a demented laugh of a sinister clown, which could make the most happiest kid begin to frown. Seeing multiple bozos, looking like a red-nosed hobo with green hair, licking his 12-inch knife, smashing the reflections with the butt of his gun. Ending is fun, seeing the big shoe clown begin to run. The MC chased him outside, not able to get him in the sights. The clown took the unsafe roller coaster ride, pulling the lever until it snapped. The carts looking like the devil metal parts. With a touch of witchcraft, they began moving. The artist caught the last one, the clown waving by while lighting a bomb out front, tossing it behind him at the rapper. Fuse cooked, he couldn't book, so he shot the bomb in midair. Blew up half the car, some even derailed, so the MC took 2 more shots at the clown from his chair. The musician began hopping the carts, getting closer to the mad clown, trying to blow him apart. The clown pulled a hidden parachute from under his seat, honked his nose twice, then took a big leap. Oh no, the rails detached up ahead. It's either dive to his death or elbow drop atop the clown's head. He waited for the right moment, then cannonball into the crazy clown's parachute, until they both folded, crash into a pellet gun target stand, tussling with the ugly clown for the gap with just one hand. The bozo won him over and knocked him to the floor, but before he can get a clear shot, the rapper who stormed over the counter and grabbed 2 pellet rifle shot both at the crazy clown's eyes, who was standing idle. So he got his gap back, and before he left the shack, he swung a jab and laid the sad clown out, confidence restored. Well, what else would you expect from an artist ignored, never put on flyers or shelves? He left the shack with bruises and cuts, a shadow towered over him. It was a strong man, so he kicked him in the nuts. The giant held a large mallet, pain entered his gut. The mallet dropped on top of his skull, unrolling his tongue. His nose hairs popped out, Goliath dead on the scene. So the MC said, "That's right, bitch, just about to leave." Then he caught a bear hug, it was the bearded lady. So he gave her a headbutt, and she dropped him like a baby. Face turned red, ears began to steam, so he pulled her beard down into the cotton candy machine. A fine product, whoever manufactured it. Quality is killer, slogan written on the side of the cabinet. Well, remember those cars that derailed? Well, they had crashed through the electric fence, opened up a way to bail. There was only one small problem, it was the boy with the arms and shoulders blocking the exit to channel new stardom. But he let his guard down, the kid was quick on his feet with fancy footwear, knocked the gun from the hands of the MC. Before the artist even realized what happened, he got struck with a flying knee to the chin. His vision blackened when he came to. He saw the boy standing right over him, about to stomp his face in until the rapper got a hold of him. About 100 pounds he weighed, and grabbed him by his legs and swung him at the entire story page. No more details, let's get the show on the road. He exited the evil carnival with his gat in his soul, finding his vintage bug still in the parking lot. He fired it up and drove off, smoking a crooked ass blunt. Halfway back home in the backseat, hearing laughter, was out the Raven with his king, the return of the bastard, trying to steady the car, strangled by a cane, flying off a bridge to get